Hi, I want to introduce you a new Blender add-on called SimplyFast. It's mainly developed by Fargus Design, and it was created to be faster in getting some operators in Blender and to skip some shortcuts on a keyboard. And that's why the add-on was developed, to be a bit more faster during the modeling process in industrial design or in game development, asset development, and all that stuff. So I want to introduce you here how to work with this add-on. And let's do a basic example here. So if I add specialized band ape, yes, we have a specialized Suzy code here, and it's looking now to us if we want, if we're looking from the front. And here we see the most needed functions appeared, like fast tools and object tools, but we are mainly working with fast tools in the object mode. And if we go in the edit mode, we work in the mainly part like in the bevel for setup, and then in fast edit the main functions and edge tools, of course. So these fast edit and edge tools are the most important functions here and areas, so we can achieve a bit more speed during the modeling process. But for now I want to show you the main stuff in the object mode, and we see directly here the name of the object. We can add a material here, so we don't need to go over here, set up the name, go over here, set up material. We just can do it directly here. Of course, some professionals in Blender or not amateur in the moment will say, hey, it's easy, just hit F2 or just make a material and other stuff and other shortcuts. But yes, you're right, but we want to make it more easier. So this is only the end panel what I'm showing you. The mainly development was started with this pie menu in F1. So you don't need all this stuff. So if you have all the add-ons here, you have a mess, you need to find it and select the correct path. Just the developer in Fargus Design decided to work very clean like this. And now from here to get access to all the needed functions and operators. So just hit F1 and do what you need to do. If we go here, we go hit F1 and we have all the same functions like in the end panel. The end panel was my idea, so that's why it called incorporation with Vjaceslav T. And I mainly added this idea, and Fargus Design developed the most of the functions and the shortcuts and the tools, what you ever like to call them. So let's start. So sometimes if you want just easy to rotate your object in a specialist axis, you need to hit R, Z and type it the number to what you want. You need to understand which axis I want to rotate. And I can make it very fast, so I can hit RZ 180 and rotate it. But here are so much steps. And to avoid this much steps, it was created here easy, just hit this rotation buttons, like this, in the Z axis, in the Y axis, no matter how you want, or in the X axis, so you are very fast here. If you change and resize your object, you want to apply the scale and rotation, perhaps you hit Ctrl A, scroll down, hit here, or again you make this, or you go over here, apply scale rotation. You don't need this. You can just hit this button here, and that's it. You see all the needed information in one line here. So to describe the other functions and operators, I would like to make an object with you together, and so I can describe it during the workflow. So let's start. So if we hit Control Shift A and hit it at a cube, I select it and scale it to my needs, like for example this. I push it to my needs like this, and directly I go in edit mode and see if I will make changes. It will not be mirrored because I want a mirrored object. So what we can do is in the main way like this, we go in modifier stack, we had add modifier and search for mirror, and then hit and we apply a mirror modifier. But these steps are again too much in precise way, so you just easy hit this button. So we want to mirrorize object in the x-axis in this way. That's it. And now I can start working. So let's play a bit with the scale, the size, and it could be good like this. And apply scale and rotation for the main part. And if I don't like the rotation, I just rotate it here very fast. And we see it was rotated here. So I can go to 0 again. I can rotate it like this if needed, but in this case I don't want it. Okay, and now the main part and the main idea about this add-on was the harden objects. So if we hit this harden objects, it creates some modifiers in background and it appears this operator. And now we can play with the width. It's like a bevel width, so it will look great every time if you work with it. And I would like to have a bevel size like this for the moment, something like that in the maximum case. The segments I will not change, and that's it. For this example, I will try to select the cool matte cap, which will help us to see the shading more. Here we have a good visualization. And let's go in the edit mode. These both operators I will show you later, okay? I go in edit mode and now I can start working. So what I would like to do, something like a PC tower would be great if I just start like this. We see directly some changes and some shading issues, we think. Yes, this is shading issue. But don't worry, just select the needed edges and hit one of these presets what you like. So in all this case, I want to select all my edges, or not all. We don't need this and they don't need this. So what can we do? We just select sharp edges here and give them 25% of the current bevel. And we have a nice shading here. And the view is very great. And for example just for here, if I select the 100, it will be take our maximum amount what we set up in the beginning. It will be here. We can play with the bevel amount here, you see, and this will be 0 and this will be like maximum 100. So, but for our case, I want to have them all in a not 0, not 25, but something around like 10. So we have a great shading here. Okay. So I don't like this that much at the moment. So I scale it a bit more and give some extra needed point to be able to design something like loop cuts, and this is all up to you. Something like this. And here I will show you a cool trick. If I want to extrude them like this, but I want to have them all in one line, just hit this button. It will take them down in the z-axis to 0. So if we make something like this, and here I missed totally, I don't need this. I just want to have this 2, or perhaps this is our design. This will be our design, okay? And we see some shading issues here. Just select the needed edges, so you have the full control, and set the weight here. And now we have a great hard looking object. So, and for this I want to have a straight line. I just need to make sure I'm in x-axis and just hit this button. That's it. And now we have a great design in this point. We can play with this here a bit more. And if we have some shading issues, like here, just remove them. Now we have a great contour, but something is wrong. So we need to set it to 0 here, you see? And now we have a clean line. Or if you want to have a weight here, that of course you can make it like this. And now we have specialized design. If you want to have smooth transition, you select this 100%, but you see it how it bevels here. So it's depending on what you want. So this will be like 0, 25, and it will make our needed shading results. So for this example, I let it like we started with, and now we can play. So what can I do else? I can set up some faces. Oh, I see a mistake like here and this. What should I do? Just hit this X button. It will reset them to 0, and it looks great. We have a clean line here. So to get more details, we're just modeling here, and I will show you some other stuff. So if you want to have here and bevel, yes, you could just hit this 100%, but it will look ugly because of these both too. So we need to adjust them, and we see, oh no, this is not what we want. So we need to bevel this line. So I select it, set it to 0, and then I just hit this bevel button. Why this bevel button? Most of you will say, just hit Ctrl B, that's cool. Yes, that's cool, of course. But if I want to bevel vertex points like this, and I want a specialized design, I hit Ctrl B or Shift Ctrl B, then it works. But not all know about these shortcuts. So that's why we set up this bevel operator. It understands all of the modes where are you working on. So if you're in bevel, in edge vertex mode, you just hit bevel, it works. If you're in edge, it will specialize bevel it correctly. So for this case, I just make a bevel here a bit, so we have an interesting design, something like this. And I select these both edges and set them to 0, 1 with one click. And we have here some strange behavior, so we can remove this, Ctrl X. And now we have interesting way. So from here we can work on our project. So if I want a special cool design, I could select this, go in the side view and hit the shear button. So I can play with the shear directly. So we have a cool designed computer power PC tower. So we have something like that. This is cool. If I want to shear in this way, just select the needed stuff. This will be enough. Go in the front view and hit shear. You see what we can create here. And you have full control. So it will not shortcut all of the ideas. It will just use what you want, and it will react how you want. So in this case, we see this overlap here. I don't like this. Yeah. So let's try to have a different shading here in 0, 1. And now we have this needed cool design. I want to add here some cool, how it called, topology flow. Like I can make this and this in cutting, but or I just make this, set it up here, hit up here, loop cut, so I have a bit more control. And if I extrude it inside, I go like first for this, and I want to have it again straight. Just hit this button, push it down here, and this could be our point where we can add our buttons to start the computer. This is great, but too big, so we need to adjust it a bit. So if you have something like this now, what we have here, if I select this and this has this shape which we don't like, very easy, just hit this and you see how it reacts. Of course this we should use too, and then we can make this again, and now it looks great. So we can check the shading and it looks great. But here and there I don't like the shading, so I check again. Ah, there it is. So in this case I would recommend to make it lower size. Yeah, we can set it, oops, we can set it like here. Lower size, so we don't have this intersection issues like this. Now it looks harder in this point. If we turn on, oh, I turned on already. I'm in the shadows here. You will notice it perhaps sometimes more, how the shading is working. And I'm pretty happy with the main result here. Yes, let's go on the next step. So I like the design, for example. I want to add more details and stuff like that. And I want to have like subdivisions here and there. What I can do, I just select them and hit this button. Very easy, 2 times, 3 times, no matter how times you want. Instead of control, not control V, just V and then subdivide, V subdivide, V subdivide. So this is just one point. We can work, of course, with this too, but it's only depending on to your needs and to what you love. So that's very important to understand. So I just hit some bevels here or unsubdivided, and we see, oh man, the shading is breaking down. This because of this topology. So we need to be sure what we're doing, of course. So if I'm happy with this main result, I can here start to create something like this. And so we can make it like, how we call it, like for the fans. So I select this, hit this button. It's very fast, so we have no problem to adjust it. And here I want to, again, extrude, go inside, and a bit of, oh, this we need to, something like this. Perhaps the button part is too big, so we go a bit here and there. We have full control, of course, don't worry about this stuff. So we can, of course, check the shearing. So if we have these all topologies added, we can make it again straight first and then shear to our needs. It's a bit of too much, but I think you understand what I mean. So I let it like this first, and perhaps I remove this so we have a clean, more clean design. And we see this bad ugly shading here. The same again. We select all needed angles and hit set weight. That's it. Very fast and very easy. And for here I will add like an object again. And make it a bit of easier. So if I would like to rotate them in x-axis, but it will be 90 degrees, it's too much. So in this case, I would say make it like you know already. So, and I add an array modifier in the z-axis in -z and play with this. We don't apply the scale and rotation. So first apply, you see, one click and we can save a lot of time. And perhaps we should start already here. I think it will be better. And now we can play with the size. No, not too much. This will be enough, I think. And of course, rotate a bit more. And add these gaps. This should be cool. Oops, too much. And that's it. So we have a great design here. So I think about this area. I don't like it that much. So what can we do here? I select again faces, Control X, Control only faces. No. Yes, like this. So I will make it a bit easier, I think. Set it to 0. So we have again clean shading here. Nothing has gone wrong. And we try to make it a bit different design, I think. I will show you now how to make it interesting for the next designing part. So first I want to make a side view and just give some of these subdivisions here and give it a specialized design. So what can we do with here is more like I want to make them in z-axis, these two, and this should be one in the x-axis. So you will understand why and how I do all that stuff. And here for now we can start working. So I make a design here, element, this should be here. No, I need more, I think. Give here more. And here we try to make the button. So I mark them as sharp for now. And all what could be plates, I try to mark now, okay? So we will see it later in the design. So this should be like a plate later, but not this. Oh, I make here and just hit sharp. So, and for the designing part, I want to have here again this sharp should be in x-axis. Yes, but we can move it here. This the same without this all and this not. We don't need this upper part, only the under part. Set up here and the same here. So we have here specialized design, which we can turn off here later. The front plate should be here too. And if we are a bit knowing of all the lines, so you just can turn off the bevel weights so you can see more on what you're working at the moment. So if the bevel lines are disturbing your view, just turn them down here, turn them off here. But they're already there, just hide. So from the designing part, I want to go here over, here over, here over. It should be sharp. And here I want to have a cut. So we have like special looking design, and it should be straight till here. So we see here some points I don't make, so just hit this cut. And only in this case we have the sharp. And you will notice why. I'm just designing right now here, which will give me the possibility to work on my ideas better. And what I can do here is I just make the same cuts to this design, for example, like this. Yeah, how it was, I missed the buttons. Like this, go over here, or perhaps here, and that's it. Yeah, this should be sharp, this and this should be sharp. So we have a clean, sharp looking design, and we'll see what we can make it nicer here is just Control B if you are doing intuitively like before, or you just hit this button. So it doesn't matter how you do it, but you should understand why you hit all the needed parts. And so we see here some ugly shading. Yeah? This could be affected from here. So we need to select this full section. Oops. This part, perhaps 0. We have this. And this. So you will not notice it that much, but it goes smaller here, which is not a good idea, I think. So if this is 25, or no matter which weight it was, so something like this, 0, 10, so I would recommend to use it the same here. And this should be off if you want. Otherwise, just use the same weight. So we have a clean shading. Oh, I noticed some not nice shading here, what it was here. So perhaps we can remove this by just going here over. Hello. From here to here. From here to here. Yes, and check again. Now it's a bit better. But we need to be careful, of course. So it's faster in some process, you see, and if you're working on hard objects, but you will understand why this is faster. So if you every time do your shortcuts, you will be fast, of course. But if you are working with this end panel or with this pie menu, you will see it after a bit of practicing, how fast you can select edges, like here, sharp edges, or just select them, or just hide them and make seams. So if I want to have seams on all specialized parts like this, and I want to select it too, so first of all this, I can just add a seam, and then the sharp, add seam, so I have a better controlling selection later. You see? Just hit L and you have the controlled selection. And if you don't need the seams, just hide them first and work on your design. And here I want to have a knife. And this is more like a workflow introduction video. So you will see I'm working and talking a bit how to use this correctly. And this is the main point, which will help you to understand the add-on more. So we select this, I turn them straight, set them sharp to sharp, and from here go over to here again sharp. So I don't need to do it every time with Control E, edge, mark sharp, and all that stuff. So if we have here nice funny design. And for this now we can make a cool pattern from here. It will be like something like this. Not perfect, but cool. We try to be cool. A bit shorter here. Push it down here more. Go over here and make this. So I select here a bit. It will not knifed. Now we have a great plate design. And you will see why in the next moment. So if I show you now the point, I will disable sharp to. I remove the bevels, I don't need them here. And if I want to have here at the, like for the main parts, if I select all that stuff, insert, move it like to this. Oh, it was too big. Extrude, move it inside. I can give here again more of the needed points, and here too, of course. So we can check it, double check. This will be lower part. Here we need, of course, to close the design in this section perhaps, but no, it should be one. Here we don't want this. It should be cleaned up at this way. Here we don't want two, so we have one specialized design. And I will show you why. This will be interesting for the next step. So I try to get a bit of this. Oops. I tried to remove this, but it will not work. I will merge it to last. And then we see it again. So I will save it for now. SimplyFast example. And I will make a backup file from here. So we have this fence, not fence, but for the fence, the needed models. I duplicate, move it over here, and I'm working now on this. So this will be our backup model, and hide it. And this too. Oops, not this. There it is. Backup model. So you see I can use it already here with double click, or here with one click. So if I hit one click here, nothing changed. I need to hit double click, and here we just hit one click. So this is a small improvement too, but I don't want to tell it, oh, it's the best and you need to have this add-on. No, it's just a showcase to get a bit more faster, to get the understanding of the improvement of keys and stuff like that, and shortcuts. And that's why it's called shortcuts and tool collection. So you can you have the all needed tools here to modeling very fast for specific designs. Okay, so let's show us you the next step, and it will be like select all the sharps, and now we can go over to hard shell from selection. Of course, I don't show you this and this, but it will be very easy. So, and of course, now I want to have this as seams too. So I select the sharps, add this as seam, so I can select this, and you will understand what it's doing here. And I select this part too. Yes. If I scale, it will be like this. If I hit Alt S, it will be like this. And this is exactly what this to shrink and fatten it. You see? So you don't need to hit Alt S and do this, or going to the, I think it was in face, and then how it called, I don't remember, but you can, or Alt S is just, yes, the shortcut, which I know. It's a bit too much. So very easy, select, hit this button and do it in the normal. So it will scale it by the normals. I think you will notice it here more. Yes, so it goes up. If I'm saying something not that correct, please correct me and add it to the comments list, okay? So from here, we go over to the hard shell from selection. What does this operator do? So if you select your sharps and you hit this button, you will notice it creates a new object, and you have the ability to change the bevel width and all that stuff to achieve the designs like this now. And this is ultra cool in my opinion. So depending on what you set up, if you have the original modifiers, you need to be aware of these explosions here. So it really depends on what you want and how you want. But you see, we have the plates created to our sharp design. So I turn this off, and we see some shadings not working anymore. So here you need to understand it's the bevel width just for this, and it could destroy the shadings, of course. Play with the settings here and there, and then you notice, aha, there it is, the bevel angle. So you need to understand, if you make hard shell, you need to adjust the bevel angle limit to your desired needs. So I would think like this will be okay, but we have some strange behavior here. So we need to be really sure what we are doing here. Segments to 2, it's okay. So bevel, there it is. It's a bit of tricky at the moment, but you need to test it around here. So high quality normals, yes, we want to have them. Add subdivision modifier will fix this issue, but it could create these shading points, of course, which we need to be sure what we do here. So here is to find the correct angle to avoid all these extra lines, if you see them here. And let's try to find the perfect angle for our object. So I move slowly, and there it is. So this should be the most and maximum 8. There it is, 8. Perhaps go a bit lower. I think 8 is good. So here. And again, plate thickness and plate offset. So you can offset these plates a bit, you see? It creates like a overstamp. So we'll see here. If I tell it correct overstamp, I don't know. So in this case, I want to have it like this. And we check the shading, it's looking okay, but this issue we need to avoid somehow. And play with the clamp thickness. Nothing changes that much. So you need to play around a bit. But I think the plate thickness you see, will help us to avoid this one issue at the top. So let's be like this. And I think it's a very cool object now. From here we can work, of course, with other designs and all that stuff. We have the backup already here. There it is, if I drag it to the side. And we can easily just add more of them. So if we just go to the hard shell object, go in edit mode, you will notice we can go on and add details. And how this is working. So if I want to have more details like here and there, like for example, let's do here. I want to have here a line, a specialized case. I just hit sharp and that's it. I have it already here now. I want to add here a button. So I select like this, and intersect, move it up, move it there, and you will notice, oh, what is this? Yes, this because of this both are sharps and this not. Just hit this button, that's it. Of course, we now perhaps missed the angle. So I go again in this view and there you see it. So for how to fix this, just easy hit this button and shear to the needs, and that's it. And so it should be looking again great. So you have the full control. Here I have the button, but I want to add a bit more. So I make like this and this. Select this both, add sharp. That's it. Great. I like this. I want to have here like a cut. Add sharp. Wow, great. And perhaps we could play with some settings here. No, I don't want. This is cool. So I like this very much. At the bottom I can make like this. Set sharp. Wow, I'm impressed. And now we can work on the next points. So this is main workflow here. So we can now work on this object if we want. We can add materials and all that stuff. And we can go over here. We can apply all the modifiers. So we have the static object after this. So it's depending to you. Here what I want. Now it's cool. So it's depending to you how and what you want to achieve. And I would recommend you to make next step. I will show you. So I'm just playing around a bit. So let's test this add-on a bit and make interesting designs. So if I hit here, what happened? Wow, we see these great scarves, or how it's called. So if I add more, like here, and again here, this is just for playing around, so we understand what this add-on can. And if you just hit this sharp, this is epic. I like it very much. So we have a great hard surface object, and it helps us to achieve our design purposes in any way. So we have a high resolution object, but we can work with it very easy. I see some issue like here. I don't like this gap. So what we can do here, I try to intuitively fix this issue by, yes, now it's great. Now we have a great plates and great design. We can go over here, make this. So whatever you like. This is awesome. I like it so much. So put it here perhaps. Like this. Or just make them straight. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, For the next step, I think I show you. So the most of these ideas of this add-on, we have the mirror modifier. We can rotate however we want very fast. And yes, if I make this to parent, we will notice very great features here. And if I go over here, I can now make whatever we want. So just for example, let's try this out. So I save first, and for example, I want to have like a protection area for this computer. So we select like this part, perhaps only this part. This will be great, I think. So we will notice what it's doing here exactly. We select this part, so it's protected from the side if we want, and we make fast cloth. For example, I want to have 4 subdivisions, 5 subdivisions, a bit of pressure. Pressure factor should be 5. Pin the bounce, yes, it will pin the bounce and play directly. Hide the source mesh, no, we don't want to hide. A bit of gravity we want, and for the better looking, we can triangulate it. Let's try. I hit OK. And it will create a cloth object from this selection. It will be a bit high res now, but it will do it in both cases. And we noticed it has created these special parts. So what can we do here now to fix this? First of all, I go to timeline and we see directly we can change it now. I want to make 3 subdivisions in this case. And there we see it. And we see some strange behavior. What is going on? This falling down, it's okay. So we go inside the object. I select them separately if it's possible. Oh, it's like cut it out. So we don't need to select them perhaps next time. But we have it from hard shell, and this is the issue. So hard shell, we create a subdivision, solidify modifier, which are creating the object inside and outside. So we need to understand not to create fast close here. So this was the point. So if we go over here and select only this part, and now making the cloth with this desired look, it will only make it outside. So it has one object, you see this, it's great, a bit of strange shading depending on the topology. So I make this, and I want to have 10 pressure factor, and we can play here too, directly in the cloth settings, and we have this nice looking pillow, like protection. I don't like this shading here, so we need to, this is because of this. So what can we do? We can select them, turn them off if needed, take these, turn them up, and now we can try it again. Fast cloth, 10 is okay, and now we have a better looking protection. So I want to have more pressure, less stiffness. We can play with the angular and linear close settings, so it will be bending model, angular, and this is linear. So depending on what you want, you can add this. But this was only for the showcase. What you can do if you are working on an object, you can just do this 3 times, and let's go. You will notice directly what you can do with fast close. So go over to the hard shell again. We want to add materials here, and of course we can check the mesh before. So we have the analyzer here. In edit mode you will notice more functions. You have the analyzer to see the stats, how much triangles you have. In the edit mode you can hit mesh debug and play with the settings here to see what is wrong or not. You can show Add-ons. Just hit OK, and then it show all Add-ons. You can fix directly by hitting this button and make them quad. So depending to your needs, like for a game engine, it should be triangulated every time. So some people are struggling with the point they're modeling, forget some Add-ons, and the engine cries and want to have only triangles. And then this function will be helpful. But I don't want this here. What we can show more, edge length of the selection, so we can see them all, and face orientation, very important. It's all nice in this object. So we have here, we can see some strange behavior here because of the solidify perhaps. So depending on in which angle we work here, there it's gone, and here. So we can fix this too. So it will fix some issues directly, and wireframes. And why this is again faster here to get all this, you don't need to get high up, set up here, or the next point will be statics. Somebody don't know it exists. And the other point will be you go over where it was for the mesh debug. If you go over, I totally missed this now. In edit mode, if you go again here, you need to understand of this mesh analysis, and then the settings will appear. Not all understand this and know this. So that's why it's all here. Different interesting point will be for game designers during creating ID maps, and you can easy work with the vertex colors. So if you try to get some specialized color for only this part, for example, you will notice you have some problems to get it right. So we see we have here some issue again. I need to select all sharps and make them seam again. So I have all latest updates here, and I want to see them, of course. And now if I select, now I have a better selection again. So we can play with the colors, of course. So it's for designing purposes and presentation purposes. Like this, we can make just red color and see what the ugly creating here. No, this is completely right. So we're from the vertex colors in the vertex mode. We need to go over the face mode, and of course I remove them first, pick them to 1 or to white, and I want to have only specialized part to be in a specialized color. Something like that will be in red. This is the face mode, you see? It will not make a transition through the vertex to the next vertex. This is important sometimes, but for this case I just want it to have it like this. And they should be like blue. The buttons should be black. So I go over here. Oh, I missed one side. The insides of this. Oops, I just hit L. Should be like green, for example. And the outer part, all this. This could be. So here we have the problem why it was created for the pie menu. We need to scroll sometimes if I scaled it up. If not, of course I can work with it, but for the showcase I need to scroll down every time, so this is very annoying. I just turn it off, hit F1 and just select the needed color like this. The button part should be again one color, like again like a reddish. No, I don't like this, so I hit F1 again. This could be white or a gray, like a grayish design, and all these parts, of course, too, and gray also. This is specialized for the fence, so it should be green. And so fast we can create an ID map for our object. Oh, we missed this side totally. Backside it will be again red. This will be black or gray, and this should be blue, just for example. So we understand the need of this tool, why we have these colors, and why we want to present all that stuff. Yes, and so we can export it later, depending on how you do it, to your needs. And now we can test a different matcaps to see how it looks, so we can present it nice, we can make nice screenshots, and it looks very great, very nice. I like this so much. The next step will be the materials. So if we go over the shading menu, I have all setting up here, and you installed the additional zip file in preferences, file path, and then you add a new file path and select the unzipped file with the SimplyFast materials. You create here a new asset library with a folder where you unzipped it, and then you open the asset browser, select your category, and there you have the ready-made assets. So why they are great, I will show you now. If we have a great, interesting HDRI, let's do it like this. So, or we just make it all black. And I like to use the HDRI maker. So we need a studio, hit a 2K, something like that. We see already what's going on. Or if you don't want to have it, you want more interior stuff, like this could be cool. Yes, it's great. Now we can add materials on it just by very easy drag and drop. So like we can make it like this. We can make it in a car paint look, and you can adjust these materials directly here. So if you want to have a bluish, dark computer tower, just do it. Play with the roughness and make the flakes more visible, less visible. So you have really good ready-made materials here. So it depending to you what you want to use it for. So here we have gun material. So you see it, how nice it looks. It's all created by Fargus Design, and I'm very impressed about the quality here. Perhaps you want a desktop tower which is like a wooden design. Yeah, very nice. We have fast camo, so you have a camouflage. Yeah, design. Depending on what you want, you can easily start with the drag drop materials and test them. If you want to have a clay rendering, just drag and drop them here and play with all the settings, and we have great design here. Of course, what's important too is if we go over here, I want to show you cool stuff here. I just make a very fast case. Solidify, remove, apply, remove, and it should be like hello. It should be like this. It will be like a cool button. This will hold you from pressing the key. just for showcase purposes here. We have this great button here. And again, go over to SimplyFast add-on, make it in the y-axis like this, and that's it. Perhaps you don't need this. This is great. This is cool. And we see if we make auto smooth, it will not good. Just harden objects again here. Play with the width. And that's it. And now I want to make it like a glass. So just drag and drop here. And you see it's like a glass. So we can set up pivot point to 3D cursor. Oh, I missed. Well, but don't worry about this. And or you have a plastic, so it should be like in cool design. So we make a cool aluminium design here for, and it should be red, for example. You go over here, set the color red. We have here like this plastic, and what you can do is you can play here with the blending. So if it should blend more and less, and absorption is very important. So of course you will notice this now. If I make it like open, and if I give him solidify, very small like this, you will see it is like transparent. So this is correct now. It's transparent, and you can play with the absorption and blending here. So it is plastic now. Now it's like glass, but plastic also. The absorption, you can adjust it to your needs. Play with the roughness. Then you have very fast created glass, plastic like. So, and if you want to separate, for example, this one, we separated it. I just want to apply all modifiers. Just hit this button and hit here the same like glass. We will create a glass design. But I don't like this aluminum, so we cannot see it so much. I want to have a plastic here or rubber, depending on what you want. And this glass, just go again here over, play with the blending factor. So now it is very strong. So you can play with the bump, of course, the scale of it, but we don't want to have here any bump. We want to have it a bit of these smudges and play with the blend. So we have a great glass element in blue, for example. How it should blend, depending on onto your needs. So this should be the same glass, so I select it here. Now we have a great design. A bit of more dark. And yes, if we want to add other materials, like I want to have this, or only this part should be like an emissive, for example, in blue. Just make it and assign. I missed one. And then you have this. If we play with the blue and I turn off the HDRI, so I go over here, emission, we can see all this great stuff. But for now, I will show you. If I select this button, this will be our power button. It should be applied to the emissive. emissive, and then go over here. Now it's glowing, and then we play with the blue. A bit of more. We have really cool desktop design. So it will glow at the back. So make our intuitive old way now. But if we go over to cycles, it should work too. And let's see what happened. So go over here and set up to 20, for example. Yeah, so you can get really nice designs. So if this is not good, change the material. New look. It's cool. And so if I add a floor, I want to have it here rubberish. And we don't have some lights here. Just put a great light here. And the same what you see for light, if you go over here, you have all the settings here. You can easily adjust it, like to look at front, you hit this button. Look at back, you hit this button and move it here. So it should like from left to right, just here. And then you can test it to your needs and adjust it. So scene light, scene world. Play with the watt. And you see, wow, how great it is. And just play around. So if we want to have a leatherish computer, go over here, play with the scale, like this, the color, like a white color. So I set up the area light, and it's great if I want to have different shadings. The size, of course, is important. So no matter what you have, you go over here, you can play with the shadows, and you will notice how great it affects. So if we want this design, oh, this is a bit of stretching here. We don't use this. We can use it for the floor. Play around. So it's up to you to achieve your custom design here, and to save time or not. It's really up to you. So I want to have it really not that dark. So it will be white, for example. And then we have our scene. So I think this is great. Yeah. So we can move it, check it here. It looks great. So perhaps I don't want to overlay, and I don't want the scene lights, just something like that. I can play and check out how it looks. I like this design. Oops. There it is. Our design. It was created not that fast because of talking so much, and it's now depending up to you what you will do with this. So feel free to play around with this.